There we go. Let's see if that works a little bit better, so folks aren't stuck with my wireless connection, which didn't seem to be very good for some reason. I don't know why. All right, well, time to get some weights accomplished. A bit of resistance training. Nice thing about having the chest puller is I can use this in place of having my weights with me. $16, $17, $18, $19, $20, $21, $22, $23, $24, $25. All right, so that's the single arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Now, with the chest puller, the springs on this give you the resistance training. That's the same as if you're picking up weights, only in this instance you have resistance going both directions as the springs coil and recoil. You still have that constant pull. You know, the kinetic movement is constant. We're going to do another 25 this time, two-handed, and instead of doing them like curls, we're going to be doing them more like, I guess you could say hammers. This way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Nice. Other side. Simply changing the position of the handle on the floor, which is under my foot, by the way. Let me show you guys this. How I controlled the 3-spring from the floor. I simply step on it. That way I have the control of the, and I have a base when I'm doing these movements. Here we go. So again, it's more like a rowing motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Nice. Let's do a bit of stretching. And remember again, holding a stretch, 30 seconds minimum. Deep breath and let it out. This allows your chest to compress a little bit more and give you a little bit more range of stretch on this one. Take this only as far as comfortable. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Shake it out. Let's move to the other side. Remember, free arm, simply behind the elbow to bring it around. Don't pull, don't tug, just as far as is comfortable, and hold for at least 30 seconds. And shake it out. What do we got going on here? Well, if I'm fifth and ask questions, where is everybody? Anybody watching? Who's watching? Is anybody watching? Well, it's very quiet today. Although it is a Saturday. Got to give you that much. On a Saturday, I guess we're not going to have a whole lot of folks jumping in, especially this early on a Saturday. So that's okay, because I want to get my weights done, and then I'm hoping this rain will be ending shortly, and I can go get some miles accomplished. In the meantime, for what the chest puller is normally used for, at least what most people think of the connotation of a chest puller for, obviously is to open the puppy up all the way, get the full range. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And do not let it slam closed. You don't want to do this. Last thing you want to do. 1, it's letting your muscles snap back. You don't want that to happen. It's also not good on your joints. You want that slow release, especially in your shoulders. This is the widest range of motion, articulation joint you have in your body, and tends to be one that's easily injured. The rotator cuff is a common injury, and one of the best ways to avoid it is to keep it stretched, limber, have a good range of motion, and keep the muscles around it back here, keep the muscles around it tight, right? And one of the best ways to do that is resistance training. I'm not talking about high repetition or high weights, to get into the gym and start picking up 100 pounds. I'm talking about low reps, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever is comfortable for you. Normally I recommend with low weights, just a low weight, something that's comfortable, but high repetitions. For instance, a 10-pound weight 25 times. Do that several times. Do 3 sets of those with each arm, etc., etc. You'll notice a difference, especially over time if you do it regularly. That's the key. Doing it regularly and giving yourself enough interval time, enough recovery time in between resistance training, weight training, to give your muscles a chance to recover. That's what recovery time is for. Because remember, you're building down the muscle fibers. You're tearing down the muscle fibers and rebuilding them. That's exactly what muscle building is all about. But first you have to tear the fibers down before they can rebuild. Anyhow, back to these. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, we do not let it slam. You can feel that, especially when you get close to the end of the routine. Now, this one is a little more difficult to do behind the back, but still doable. Right now I'm on the right foot. I'm stepping on it with my right heel, and I'll do 25 of these. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. All right, 25 on one side. Switch it around and do 25 on the other side. 2, 3, 4. Morning. Just doing a little resistance training right now. You know, person. Working with my chest puller with behind the back resistance training this morning. Here, let me turn and show you what I'm doing. Working with my chest puller. And right now I've got 10 more of these left to do. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Glad you can make it. If you're sitting down, at least stand up. Off your butts. But that you boo. Time to get back on the wagon. Life's too short to live it unhappy. Know what I mean? Alright. Get 10 more of these in. Feels good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's what you don't want to do. Never let it snap. Let it close quietly. Thusly. There you go. Better on your joints. Alright. Stretching. Beyond that. So how you doing, you now person? You having a good day? Happy Saturday morning? If you're joining me in the stretch, remember we're holding this for at least 30 seconds. You now person number 2. Funny if it'd be both Gollum and the bridge troll at the same time. Hilarious. Hang on, I'm holding this stretch for about 30 seconds. I'll pop over and say hello. Getting a little bit of resistance training done. It's my Saturday morning. Always Saturday mornings I'm doing weights, resistance of some sort. Oh yeah. You want to keep your rotator cuff healthy, injury free. Stretch it regularly. Build up the muscles around your... Hey Woody, how's it going? Glad you can make it. Seriously, rotator cuff injuries are some of the most common injuries there are, and also some of the most easiest to avoid. And just a matter you take good care of your shoulders. Make sure that you're building up the muscles and stretching the proper tendons and ligaments and just keeping it, generally very limber, if you will. Anyhow, I'm doing some resistance with my bands this morning. I take this with me on the road. I'm in Dallas visiting my dad right now. And there's no guarantee that whatever hotel or motel or wherever you're staying, there's no guarantee that they have any kind of workout equipment. Fortunately, there is a workout room here, a gym downstairs, and I'm going to take you guys with me as we go down and work on a little bit of that equipment a bit. But I always bring this with me. It packs very easily in my luggage. Once they take it out and look at it, if they have a question at the TSA X-ray, fine. Just a chest puller, you guys. They recognize it once they take it out. You can do the same thing with the bands. There are rubber bands, large rubber bands that you can do the exact same thing with. This I just happen to like because it's old school, and for me it's something I've always had. It's very handy. And you don't always do it in the fashion like this. It's not always just for doing the chest. I like to use it when I'm doing just general resistance. You can do this with one arm. You can do this with both arms. I was just doing a set behind my back with this. But you get the resistance training that you need without having to bring your 20, 25, 30-pound dumbbell, or I have a 35-pound kettlebell for those of you who watch me regularly that I use at home. But this allows me to get the resistance training, the weight training in that I need 3 times a week. And you can keep the muscle tone. Remember, muscle burns. Lots of YouNow people today. Muscle burns more calories than fat. So having more muscle on your body than fat, obviously your metabolism is going to be more effective. In other words, it takes less muscle to burn off the foods that you eat than it does fat. So fat doesn't burn calories as much as muscle. So losing fat and gaining muscle is also going to make your metabolism rev up. Even if you just start with maybe, say, 10%. Anything is better. All right, hit me up with any questions, you guys. They do not have to be personal training or health related. Anything you've got going on. Let's talk about it. Comments, theories, postulations, ideas. I like participation. If I had my way, I'd pull every one of you through this device and sit you in some chairs right here in front of me so I could look you in the eyes. The best communication is eye-to-eye contact, you guys. The best. The worst is text messaging. Hint, hint. Anyhow, I'm going to do 15 more of these. 3. 5, 6, and of course 7. The higher you pull, the more the resistance. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's hold the last one. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Very handy, these, you guys. And again, you don't have to use a metal 3-spring chest puller like I do. You can go online right now and order fitness bands. They're rubber bands that have handles, some of them, and do the exact same thing. And the bottom line is something portable that you can take with you when you're on the road if you travel a lot. Even if you don't travel a lot, take them with you to work, lunchtime, break time. I mean, 15 minutes with these or bands, or even if it's lightweight, keeping 5-pound dumbbells in your car, 10-pound dumbbells in your car. Why not? Keep them in your... The point is having the ability to do some kind of resistance training pretty much at will, as you want. Especially if you're trying to lose weight. I pretty much not insist, but highly recommend to anybody that I'm helping lose weight, a little bit of weight training. A little bit of weight training will go a long, long way. Especially getting the metabolism burning, because that's what we're really after. The more that metabolism is burning, the more calories you're going to burn. And if, like me, you like to eat, if you're a foodie, that gets very important when you're trying to either lose weight or, keep weight off. Excuse me. Yeah, still the best liquid for you. They're made of 70% water. Without water, none of our cells or anything else would function properly. In fact, we're 95% water soluble. All right, 5% fat soluble, but 95% water soluble. So for us, the key ingredient for healthy living is a lot of water. Right? Not to the point where you're drowning yourself and you're overdoing your kidneys, but enough to the point where you're cleaning everything out. One of the best ways to also help you lose weight when you're doing your activities and watching what you're eating is more water. Right? The more water you're drinking, the more you're helping flush out whatever it is you're trying to clean out of your system. So I highly recommend it. H2O. Hit me up with some questions, you guys. You're making this morning way too easy on me. I want to open up the hips a little bit. Pretty soon I'm going to take you guys downstairs with me, and I want to go do a little bit of the lat bar and work out with the weight machine that they have downstairs here. It's been raining this morning, but I think the rain is clearing up, in which case once I complete my weight training, my resistance training this morning, I'm going to be heading out the door to go get some mileage in before we get together with Dad again a little bit later here. Last day in Dallas before I head home to Southern California, and looking forward to some authentic Chinese food for supper tonight. We're going to a Szechuan place. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I love spicy food. Didn't before I was younger. I didn't like spicy food at all, but now, oh yeah, give me something good. Kung Pao shrimp. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Anyhow, so I'm looking forward to that tonight. And again, I keep telling you guys, you can eat whatever you please. And I'm not talking about going out and suddenly buying rice cakes and salads and tofu to lose weight. That's not going to happen. You can still eat what you like to eat. What I'm looking for, though, are smaller portion sizes. Yeah, okay, you can go get a bucket of KFC. Cool. But just have a couple pieces. Don't eat the whole bucket. You want to have some pizza? Great. Order pizza. I get pizza. I love pizza. Just have a couple slices. Put the rest away. Don't eat the whole pie. And if you're one of the folks who's participating in the food diary, I don't know if anyone on here is a participant this week in the food diary. We know what we're getting to. We know what we're on target to do this week. We've already got a couple folks from last week who are now, have a program. I've worked with them. We put a program in place. They're starting to implement their program, and 30 days from now, I'm hoping that they'll at least both be down 4 to 5 pounds within the next month, targeting about a pound a week to a pound every other week of weight loss, based on what we put together from their numbers, from their food and activity logs. So if you're participating in the food diary, the food log this week, that's awesome. I look forward to working with you on Skype or at least on email to go over your numbers and see if we can help you get on the path to losing some pounds. And anybody can do it. It's just a numbers game. And like I said, I know you're just not going to start, you're not all of a sudden going to start suddenly reaching for bananas and green things and red things. I know that's not going to happen immediately. Once you begin losing weight and once you start getting your health back in order and you start getting back in proper body mass index range, BMI range for your height and weight, once your health starts becoming back more into balance, you yourself will find healthier ways to eat. You will find things that you like. It may be Cobb salad. It might be Caesar salad. You might like spinach and kale. You will experiment and slowly find things that will replace double cheeseburgers all the time. Nothing wrong with having a double cheeseburger and fries every now and then. But when high saturated foods, high saturated fat foods, and high cholesterol foods, and things that are, literally not only put on the pounds, but fill your heart full of plaque, give you arteriosclerosis, lead to coronary arterial disease, CAD. That's still the leading cause of death in America today, right now. The leading cause of death is still coronary arterial disease, blockages in the heart, mostly from high fat, high saturated fat foods, high cholesterol foods that's in our diets. And the fact that we're just sitting around, we're not being as active as we need to be. I'm talking about the whole society. I'm not just pointing fingers at you. Right? If you're one of those people. I don't sit here and have to yell at you as a personal trainer and say, hey, you need to look at yourself in the mirror. You look at yourself in the mirror every freaking day. To me, the important thing is what your doctor's telling you. The conversations you're having with your doctor. And I have conversations with clients' doctors. As a certified professional, I'm HIPAA regulated. So anything that goes on between me and any of my clients or my clients and their doctor, because they put me in touch with their doctors to get the numbers and the information sometimes that I need that they may not know. Any limitations they may have. If I need to put together an exercise program for them. Any medical conditions, any medications, anything a doctor may recommend, say, do this, don't do this, with this particular person. You may have a heart murmur that the doctor, might want me to know about. You may be taking blood pressure medication. You'll know that. These certain things you're going to know. But there's other things that you may want me to talk to your doctor about, especially if you've just recently been hit with, prediabetes. That is at an absolute epidemic level. Hey, Zach, how's it going? Yeah, right now it's crazy, you guys. Out of 324 million Americans, 84 million, 1 in 4, has prediabetes. Right on the line. Prediabetes, right on the line. 1 out of 4 Americans right now. But then again, like I mentioned earlier, the obesity epidemic isn't just global, it's concentrated in the United States. 2/3 of our population, 2/3 of the United States are either overweight or obese. I was there, I know, look on my wall. That's the picture of me when I was obese. 252 pounds with a BMI of 38. I know, I understand, been there, done that. I got caught in this epidemic. So right now we have an epidemic, an obesity epidemic, and all age ranges. Right now childhood obesity is at epidemic levels as well. I mean, basically we're looking at a very sedentary and growingly heavy society. Right? When I was at my heaviest, 252 pounds, my body mass index was 38. 38. Who's joined us? Hey, Ben, what's going on? So I'm here to tell you, I don't care how heavy you are. Doesn't matter. And I don't care how old you are. That doesn't matter either. If you find yourself in a position where you have to lose weight, you can do it. It's a simple math formula. I mean, a simple matter of putting the numbers together for you individually and figuring out how to bring your portion sizes down to a level where you're at least taking off a pound here and there, as opposed to putting on pounds ongoing. And remember, gaining weight and getting heavy isn't something that happens overnight. Right? I didn't get up to 252 pounds overnight. And two, there's no symptoms involved with getting heavy, becoming obese. I mean, you don't get a sore throat or a runny nose, a fever. I mean, when you're getting heavy, you're just getting heavy. The only symptom is what you see when you stand on the scale and you look in the mirror. It wasn't until I was hit with the symptoms for diabetes that I started paying attention at all. I mean, here I was, 252 pounds, a pack-a-day cigarette smoker, working in computer training, and I was basically fat and happy. Seriously. I mean, I had no issues. I was not sick or anything. I mean, other than every year that I smoked cigarettes, I'd get bronchitis, some upper respiratory infection. Every year of the 31 years that I smoked, from 15 to 46, every year I got upper respiratory infections. I got bronchitis, usually had to take antibiotics. It's funny because I quit the cigarettes on July 15, 2005, right? Almost 13 years ago this summer. I haven't had a case of bronchitis since. How's that for cool? Hey, Tommy, how's it going? Well, it's pretty simple, Tommy. One, you can't force her to do it as much as you might like to. But if she is amenable, if she wants to lose weight, it's a really simple formula, truly. Right? And like I've been telling everybody, I know not everybody's going to suddenly go out and start buying rice cakes and salads and fruit and tofu and suddenly turn into health freaks. We're going to have to work within realistic means. All right. So whatever her diet is now, and you can put her in touch with me, I'll tell her the same thing. Whatever her diet is now, we simply need to bring the portion sizes down. All right. I mean, for instance, if you're out hitting Mickey D's, you get a double quarter pounder with cheese. All right, let's just get a single. If you're getting big fries, how about getting a small fries? How about figuring out a way to replace, a high saturated, high cholesterol meal, all right, with a healthier one? How about, instead of a double cheeseburger, having a tuna sandwich? Little things. I'm not talking about drastic changes. I'm not talking about going on a freaking diet. I'm not talking about, any of the stupid lap band surgeries or buying the meal replacement programs, all the stupid BS you see on television right now, especially between Thanksgiving and even now they're still running heavy duty. All the diet replacement plans and the Weight Watchers, they're all crazy. She eats jelly donuts and Oreos. Well, if that's all she eats, then, she needs to really look at her diet, period. But one Oreo, all right, dig this. Just one Oreo is 40 calories. One Oreo is 40 calories. We know that. One jelly donut is probably, I'm going to guess, close to 100 calories. Right? Bottom line is, if she's putting in more calories than she's burning, for every 3,500 calories additional that she eats, she's going to gain a pound of fat. It's that simple. Anybody, whether it's her or anybody else. So if we can figure out how to cut back her portion sizes, oh, geez. Hey, Harry. Well, buddy, you really need to talk to her about portion sizes. Seriously. I mean, it's fine to go out and get a dozen donuts. I love Krispy Kremes. I'm addicted to Krispy Kremes. I love Krispy Kremes. And I'm a diabetic, too, and a former really fat guy, 252 pounds. So I love donuts myself. I'm a sucker for cakes and cookies and donuts. So I understand. I have Oreos at home. But I also understand now that if I go to Krispy Kreme and get donuts, if it's just me, I get one or two. I don't get a whole box. You with me on this? I'm talking about portion sizes. That's what I'm talking about, portion sizes. You got to figure out a way that she can still enjoy an Oreo here and there and still enjoy donuts, jelly donuts. We all enjoy jelly donuts. But if you eat tons and tons and tons of jelly donuts and tons of Oreos, if you do not have control over your portion sizes, then yeah, you're going to be gaining weight. It's that simple. Remember, 2/3 of America is currently either overweight or obese. 2/3, 66, 67%. Let's look at it simple. If your body mass index is normal, if your weight and height, if you're normal, right now, you don't have to lose weight. Look left, look right. That's where we are. Because right now, out of 3 people in America, 1 is heavy, 1 is extremely heavy, and 1 is normal. That's where we are. 2/3 of the United States. And of course, we lead the way. Threw her donuts out of the car. If I would kick me out of the car. Well, Tommy, we have to pick and choose our battles and how we do them. I mean, no matter what, we still have to treat each other humanely. Because look at it like this, right? The person that she is inside that body is not her body, right? The person that you are inside your body, you're the driver. Okay, you're the person on the inside, the one you see in the mirror every morning, right? The you that you talk to inside your brain, right? You're the driver of this vehicle, right? She's the driver of her vehicle. If you don't like your car, you can change it. It's nice because our bodies are malleable. I could have stayed 252 pounds with a BMI of 38, sure. Kept on smoking cigarettes, yeah. And I could have blown my heart out in a heart attack, sometime within the last 12, 13 years. But I didn't, and you don't have to either. I was 46 at 252 pounds, smoking cigarettes. Doctor hit me with type 2 diabetes. I should have been in a diabetic freaking coma. Is how bad my symptoms were at that time. It was weird. But, again, for me, I still eat everything I like to eat. I still have donuts. I still eat pizza. I still like fried chicken. I'm a steak guy, steak and fries. Ooh. So I understand now that it's not what I eat as much, although that's important, and I eat a lot more healthy stuff now. But the quantity is what it's going to come down to. With her especially, the quantity. Let her enjoy what she likes to enjoy. If she wants to have a jelly donut, fine. But you have to remind her at the end of the day, at the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the year, if she's eaten more stuff, calories-wise, then she's expended, from either, I hate to use the E word on you, but exercise or activity levels, right? If she's put more in her system, for every 3,500 calories more that she puts in, that she doesn't burn off, that turns into 1 pound of fat. It's very simple, right? I mean, if you're talking about 100 Oreos, that's 40 calories per Oreo. So that's 4,000 calories just in eating 40 Oreos, right? Or 100 Oreos, sorry. 100 Oreos at 40 calories each is 4,000. That's a pound of Oreos right there, a pound of fat. The numbers we can figure. I already know a McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese is 513 calories. Why do I know? It's my favorite. That's the one that I get. So I know when I go to McDonald's and I get my double quarter pounder with cheese, one, just the burger itself, just that sandwich is 513 calories. You throw on a couple 300 calories, 300, 400 calories for the fries, right? There's my daily caloric intake almost for my weight. For 142 pounds, which is what I am now, I need about 1,350 calories just to maintain, right? Every 3,500 calories that I consume more than I burn, that's going to add a pound of fat. And that's true for everybody. That formula isn't just true for me. Should you start fun? Well, if you do, Tommy, could you go live for us and record it? I would swear I will fan you immediately. If you promise me you're going to start a food fight at Chuck E. Cheese, I will be your fan. I will throw coins at you. I swear to God. And for me, I love nothing more than a food fight. So, Animal House, one of the best ever. John Belushi with mashed potatoes, for those of you who remember that one. But yeah, just the bottom line, and I know you're kidding, Tommy, but truly, if you are concerned, about her losing weight, it's only going to be up to her. I mean, yeah, I understand from your point of view. I truly, I do. But unless she's ready, unless she has in her mind, in her heart, that she needs to lose weight, right? If she's not there, I don't care how hard you push her. You can do everything all the way up to threaten to break up with her. But if she is not there, if she's not ready to lose weight, and many people aren't. Like I say, when I was at 252 pounds and still smoking cigarettes, there weren't any symptoms. Before I started getting hit with the diabetes symptoms, I was just fat and happy. Getting heavy, becoming overweight, becoming obese. And like I say, look on my wall. You'll see the picture of me there at 252 pounds. Becoming obese, you don't get a sore throat or a runny nose or a fever. There are no symptoms to becoming fat or very fat. Not until a perceived health threat hits you from that. For me, it was diabetes. I got hit with diabetes. Other people, you could be having heart problems, blood pressure problems, high cholesterol issues. The range of issues that come from carrying too much weight, from being overweight or obese, are many. They're varied. Like I say, if it hadn't been for me getting hit with type 2 diabetes, hey, LLG, it's so good to see you. Glad you can make it this morning. Anna, you too. Glad you guys can make it. I'm visiting my dad in Dallas. I'm broadcasting from Dallas today. We started another food diary this week. In fact, I'm letting people start the food diary anytime they want. And Tommy, you can have your girlfriend do the food diary too, if she really does want to take off some pounds. It's really a numbers game. If we can figure out where all her calories are coming from, and the food log, the food diary for 1 week would help us do that, right? If we could get her to keep the food diary for 1 week, the food and activity log for 1 week, I could start working with her immediately and at least get her on a path to cutting down her portion sizes. Instead of eating 6 jelly donuts, maybe having just 2. Instead of eating a whole thing of Oreos, maybe just having a couple. Right? Because we know, like I say, 1 Oreo is 40 calories. We know a tuna sandwich is about 400 calories, right? Double cheeseburger or double quarter pounder with cheese, right? We know that's well over 500 calories, 513. We know the calorie counts, and we know based on the individual's BMI, which is your height, weight, the number, we know if somebody's either overweight or obese or very obese. I was in the very obese range. My BMI was 38. So first thing you do, Tommy, is get her to go find out what her BMI is. Simple. Just go on Google, look for body mass index calculator, BMI calculator, right? Have her look at where her height is, have her look at what her weight is, and follow it to the box in the middle, and that'll tell you what the BMI is, okay? And they will have the index tell you what it means, but I'll tell you right now what the BMI calculator means. Hey, thanks, LLG. Are you having a good day, loving little girl? Appreciate you joining us. If you guys are sitting, I always appreciate it if you're standing while you're watching me. For me, I want to get everybody off their butts as much as possible. That's one reason that I got so heavy and got type 2 diabetes, for being sedentary, just sitting around too much. And well, in computer training, because remember, computer training is what I did for 25 years, right? And I loved it. That was one of my all-time favorites. Thanks, sweetie. I appreciate it. 25 years I spent working in computer training and sitting on my butt and blowing up to 252 pounds. By the time I was 46, like I say, they hit me with type 2 diabetes. I was a 31-year cigarette smoker, and my BMI was 38. So I was in really bad shape. My health was just, bad. But the reason I share that with you guys, I love it. Dancing is awesome. The reason I share this with you guys, and the reason I come on this platform, is because I know, as an original couch potato, child of the 60s, I've seen all the sitcoms from Gilligan's Island to Bewitched, and then again, all of them multiple times. I was the original couch potato. If I can take off 110 pounds and get rid of a 31-year cigarette habit, get my diabetes under control, it's managed, I'll be on medication the rest of my life. And live with and manage chronic back pain. Again, something I live with the rest of my life. If I can do these things, starting at 46, then I guarantee you anybody, 20, 40, 60, 80, I helped one gentleman who was almost 90 start building up a little more muscle tone because he wasn't able to get around as much. He wasn't even able to stand up very well. Right? I don't care how old you are. You can make improvements. You can make yourself better. The body is malleable. It's like a lump of clay. You can shape it any way you please. You're the driver. You're the person on the inside. You're the one who's in charge. You are not your body, right? Just like you are not your car. You may be the driver of your car, but you have to maintain your vehicle if you want it to last. If you expect it to work well, if you expect your engine not to suddenly blow out on the freeway, you have to do the things like check your tires and your belts and your timing and your lube oil and filter. All of the different parts in your vehicle have to be maintained. All of them. Not only that, but the vehicle itself. You can't just take your car, stick it in the garage, and let it sit there. You have to use it. The engine has to be run. In order to lubricate the inside seals especially, you have to run that engine. A good car, especially an old muscle car, they weren't even broken in until they had a certain amount of miles on them. That engine, any engine, is not normally broken in until you use it. It has to be worked in order for that muscle car to really work well. The same thing goes for the human muscle car. The big muscle car, the big muscle that's in here, has to be worked. You can't just let it sit around and be sedentary. You've got to work that heart rate. You've got to get that muscle, and the heart is a muscle. You've got to get that worked on a regular basis. So being healthy, all in all, and Tommy, you can talk to your girlfriend about this, is a fairly simple formula. 75% of your concentration should be on your diet, your nutrition, what you're eating. Okay, 75% of being balanced and healthy is in your diet, what's going into your face. 25% is your activity levels. And yeah, I'll use the E word, exercise. I don't care what you do. I could care less. I'm not talking about going out and buying a gym membership and running off to the gym every day. Very few people are going to do that. Most are going to say, I don't have time to exercise. That's a common one, right? Point is, you have to incorporate it into your life. You have to schedule it the same way you schedule everything else, right? You have to fit time for exercise. For me, I call it finding time to be healthy, literally. Because for this guy, sitting around working in computers for 25 years, I got extremely unhealthy. And had I stayed that way, I'm quite certain my heart would have probably blown out by now. especially if I'd have kept smoking. Hey, Ken, the Asian got. Well, we like everybody here. You know, I just want to share this with you guys, being on this platform. To me, people are people. I've lived all over this planet. I'm former Marine, former military brat. I've been Europe, Southeast, everywhere. Okay, I haven't lived in Antarctica. But everybody I've met, ever, tall, small, I don't care the shade or color of their skin, if they were purple with white polka dots. I don't care their religion. I don't care what they believed or where they lived or anything about their physical appearance. Irrelevant. People are people are people. Period. I don't care if you're a farmer from Zhendong in China or if you're a farmer from Kansas City, Kansas. People are people are people. 99.5% the same. We share 99.5% of our genetic code. Our 19,200 chromosomes, more than 17,000, are all the exact same ones. Not only that, we share 86% of our DNA with a zebrafish. You should go Google some of the things that humans share their DNA with. I mean, we're literally connected to everything on this planet. I mean, everything in this universe, for that matter. What we're made of, our physical components. We are carbon-based life forms. We wouldn't even be here if supernovas hadn't occurred. Seriously, none of the heavy elements, and we have heavy elements in us, none of the heavy elements would exist had it not been for supernovas. So everything that we're made of, everything that makes up this planet, everything that makes up everything that you see, we're intricately tied to. We are not separate from ourselves. Every single person on this planet is connected. And everything and everyone you see around us is all connected. We're all part of the same structure, the same basic universal force and energy. And every individual has his own energy source. You are your own energy source. You generate a certain amount of electricity, a certain amount of wattage. You generate energy. And we know a universal law. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, merely transformed. That's it. So the energy, that spirit, if you will, that's you. That energy, that is you. Even when you get rid of this car, you're moving on. You do not finish just because you're done with this vehicle. If you get rid of your car that you have right now, the one with the tires, you'll get a new car. Well, the same thing happens with the energy that is currently inhabiting the vehicle you call this physical form, that's you. Now, while you're here and while you're using this vehicle, let's maintain it. What do you think? Let's kick the tires, make sure they're inflated and properly, treaded. Let's lube oil and filter the engine. Let's check the belts and make sure nothing's going to break, right? Let's clean the windshield even so we can see clearer. Funny thing is, when you start to lose weight, your brain functions better, literally. It's been proven. Taking off weight also helps you think better. So there's just an additional bonus, an additional thing to think about. Hey, Harry, I am 5'8" and I'm 142. My BMI right now is between 21 and 22. It used to be 38. And I used to be 252 pounds. The 110 pounds makes just a little bit of a difference, to say the least. Now, for me, taking off the pounds was literally understanding the difference in portion sizes. Understanding that at the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the month, right, how many calories were going into my system versus how many calories I was burning, either through daily autonomic function or through exercise activities. That made the difference whether I had a positive energy burn or a negative energy burn. Personal trainer language, that simply means whether I'm gaining weight or losing weight, right? A positive energy balance at the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the month, just means that you're gaining weight, right? A negative energy balance means that you're losing weight. If you're at a zero energy balance, then you're in maintenance mode. You're staying at weight. And keep in mind, you can go up and down, 3, 4, 5 pounds in a day just from water weight. Right? Your weight can vary 3 to 5 pounds in a day just from the time of day you weigh yourself on the scale. Thanks, Harry. Appreciate it. But the point is, and the reason I point myself out as an example, and again, you can look on the wall and see me, my picture there at 252 pounds. The reason I use myself as an example is I know people well enough. Every corner of this planet, people are people, right? 99.9% of the people I've ever known on this planet are awesome, kind, loving, compassionate people. They just want to be happy and healthy and raise families and, do good things. Right? There's always that 0.01% that make all the rest of us look bad. But with 7 billion people on the planet, 0.01% is still 7 million very bad people. But out of 7 billion, I really don't think that's too bad. We need to keep an eye on them, if you know what I mean. I won't go any further than that today, but I am going to have a rant about what happened in Florida fairly darn soon. And federal authorities and the NRA are not going to be happy with what I have to say about it. But that's for another day. Today I want to concentrate on being positive when you know that you need to make health changes. And it's happening. Like I said, 1 out of 4 Americans are currently pre-diabetic. 84 million. Just when I started to do training. When I started training as a personal trainer and health coach, it's been 4 years ago now. Just when I started, 72 million Americans were pre-diabetic. Out of 324, well, it was 322 million Americans that time. There's now 324 million Americans, give or take. And out of 324 million Americans, 84 million are on the pre-diabetes list, you guys. The pre-diabetes list. Now, that comes with good and bad news. Right? Good and bad news. Now, take it from a type 2 diabetic. Right? I am full-blown type 2 diabetic. I take 2 types of medications. I will the rest of my life. But at least I'm no longer having to do the needle in the stomach. Right? I got my A1C down to a manageable level. My doctor let me go back on oral medications. 2 different ones. But for those of you who are pre-diabetic, that comes with good news and bad news. Right? The bad news is if you don't do anything about it, if you just cross your fingers and hope for the best. And the weird part is, out of the 30 million of us who've already been diagnosed as type 2 diabetics, 324 million Americans, there's 30 million of us who've already had the conversation with our doctor, you're diabetic. Not pre-diabetic, full-blown diabetic. I have diabetes mellitus type 2. Right? We know, 30 million of us know we have this disease. We know if we don't do anything about it, and the doctor tells everybody we have the same conversation, diabetic neuropathy will make you lose toes, make you lose fingers, make you go blind, kill your pancreas, and eventually kill you. So you do not treat. If you do not treat your diabetes, if you do not manage it, is what you're truly trying to do, is manage your diabetes. If you don't do anything about it at all, it's going to get you. It's going to kill you. I watched a friend, and he managed as much as he could, but he had other issues. First thing that went was they took off this part of his finger. I remember he came into the office after he'd been out for a while, and he had a bandage, and they took off that part of his finger. Within 6 months, he'd lost a foot. Within the next 2 years, he'd lost his life. This happened to a friend of mine. Okay. Now, this is when I was already on my weight loss journey, but before I ever started training to become a personal trainer and health coach. Right? So, this happened, I'd say, probably about 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. And I was already scared to pieces after the conversation I had with my doctor. I like my toes. I like my fingers. I like my eyesight. I generally enjoy living. Pretty much so far out of my almost 59 years, I can honestly say most of it's been pretty awesome. Right? We all face challenges. We've all had ups and downs. I've had a divorce. I've been through the usual stuff we've all been through. Um, but the bottom line is, you have control. If I, at 46 years old, and still at that time, I'm in my 31st year of smoking cigarettes, right? Pack a day, okay? I mean, 252 pounds, smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, and they hit me with type 2 diabetes. Yeah, love always wins over hate, but always. And always will. Positivity will always win over negativity. Always. Even if the balance is slightly that direction, it'll always be slightly that direction. So, appreciate you a lot. But the bottom line, and what I'm trying to get to here, guys, is I don't care how old you are right now. And I don't care how much you weigh right now. I don't care how unhealthy you are right now. I don't care the fact that you may eat junk food 24/7 and just sit around watching the boob tube. If you're still breathing, you're looking at me, and so I know you are, then you have the ability to make the changes you need to make. Seriously, you have that ability. You do not need to look at any of these stupid television commercials with their diet plans and their meal replacement programs and their lose weight fast. Who is it that Marie Osmond has been hawking that same 50 pounds she lost for the last 20 years? All they want you to do is to sign up for their programs so that they can bill your credit card every month. You going to do that for the next 50, 60 years? What I want you to do is to figure out how you can be a more healthy person realistically, within your means now. Not running out and buying rice cakes and salads and tofu and joining the club and becoming a gym rat. Let's be realistic. I know that ain't going to happen. People are people. You're going to keep on eating all the things you like eating now. Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny, Harry? And slowly and over time is how I lost my weight. And I do have loose stomach skin. Not a lot, because I did this slowly and over time, right? But yes, just like, if you take a balloon, that's never been blown up before, right? And you blow up that balloon, okay? And then you let out all the air, it's never ever going to go back down to the exact same small size it was. It's always going to be a little bit bigger. Same thing happens with the human stomach, right? It expands and it expands, and the skin underneath, on top, expands along with it. The same thing happens when a woman gets pregnant. And at my heaviest, I looked like I was ready to deliver. Seriously. I had a 44, 46-inch waist, and I've still got the belts at home and some of the old clothes to show it. But yes, if you do it slowly over time, then your stomach will shrink back down, especially if you're doing exercises. And I highly recommend some resistance training, because that is truly going to help the musculature in your core, which is what you need to make the strongest. I mean, yeah, it's good having biceps, triceps, lats, and all the muscles that look good when they're built up. But for me, having a very strong core, really strong multifidi along your spine, having a very strong lumbar and down into I want your glutes to be strong as well as your hammies and your quads. Everything from your lower core all the way up to your upper core. To me, having a very strong core is really what's going to help you overall in your range of motion, in your stretching, and also in burning your metabolism. But then again, muscles, and that's all muscles, burn more calories than fat. That's just the way it goes. So when you're losing weight, for the people that work with me, I always have them doing a little bit of resistance training. Hey, 65, how's it going? 65 VW. Yeah, if you look on my wall, Harry, there's a picture of me. I put my old driver's license picture on the wall there. That's me at 252 pounds. And if you look on Amazon, you go find my book, Pushing Double Nickels. Yeah, just the way it sounds, Pushing Double Nickels. 50 Things I've Learned in 50 Years was the subtitle. But if you look at the book on Amazon, in the introduction page, the Breaking Brad, yeah, I stole that. If you look in there, there's a picture of me of 252 pounds, and then there's another picture of me, a full body picture of me at just over 200 pounds, 205 pounds. And like I say, now I'm at 142, 140 to 145. But funny enough, I've been weighing in at 142 for weeks and weeks and weeks in a row now. So I don't know, I guess 142 must be a number my body likes. You remember, you can go up 3 to 5 pounds just in water weight in a day. Anyhow, Harry, did you see that picture? Hey, Hamads, how's it going? Like I said, you can either see it there on my wall. Go ahead and take a look at me there on my wall. And remember, at 252 pounds, I was also a pack-a-day cigarette smoker. So I did not do myself any favors, to say the least. This year, last year, the year before, I've been helping people quit smoking for free. That's my community give back. So if any of you out there still have that monkey on your back, I don't care if you're vaping, any tobacco use is bad for you. Any tobacco use. Let me repeat that. Any tobacco use is bad for you. Right? I don't care if it's cigarettes, vapes, chew, whatever, snuff, any tobacco use. There's absolutely no way. Well, Harry, that's interesting because sometimes I'll go ahead and do my morning protein shake, and I'll do it live here online. I love to do a morning protein shake now. There are times when I'll have a pre-mixed protein shake, or I'll have a protein bar, or I'll have an apple, orange, some kind of fruit in the morning constantly. I love the fruit packets, the ones with no sugar added. They have so many of them out there now. There's one out there that's apple, pear, mango, and kale. I mean, there's some awesome stuff out there. So my morning usually will consist of a protein shake and some sort of fruit. I might even break down and have some cheddar cheese along with a banana, right? Thusly, but no cheese. This morning, I just went down and had yogurt. But yesterday, I splurged because I'm out of town visiting my dad here in Dallas. I'm staying at a Comfort Inn. And for those of you who watch the commercials, free waffles. Yeah, it's awesome because they do a great breakfast here. So most of the time I'm doing a protein shake with some kind of fruit, just something that's getting some protein into me with some carbs. Depending upon whether I'm having a workout day with weights, which is 3 times a week, or if it's just a standard day with mileage. For my cardio, I do 4 miles 6 times a week, power walking, and about 24, 25 miles a week, power walking to get my heart rate where it needs to be. Thanks. I'm going to be 59 years old here on April 20th. So, yeah, for 59, I don't think I'm doing too awful bad. But I do appreciate that. And for me, and the reason I love this platform, one, I get to interact with you guys live. I'm a public speaker. I've done public speaking for decades. I would rather have every single one of you guys sitting here in a chair right in front of me so I could look you in the eyes and talk to you directly. For me, there is nothing better than having a live audience. People that are sitting right here in front of me that can put questions to me verbally and that I can look them right in the eye as I'm talking to them and see comprehension happening. See the light bulb go off, as it were. In computer training, I was in computer training for 25 years, and I worked with all the user groups for Novell and Microsoft. Right, I was the Novell nationwide leader for the user group when we had about 120,000 members. So for me, talking to large groups of people or even small groups of people, I love it. I really get my kick that way. And now that I'm no longer in computers and I'm now in the health profession, because I only became a certified personal trainer at 56. And I only got the certified personal trainer because I wanted to become a certified health coach. That's like a personal trainer on steroids. For me, being a certified health coach, and I'm an ACE certified health coach, American Council on Exercise. We are fully HIPAA regulated, etc. Let's put it this way, the primo certification as far as I'm concerned. We do not support any products or programs or anything. The only thing I support is better health for you, period. In fact, the only service that I offer for sale is my personal services as an ACE certified personal trainer and health coach. I don't sell any products or programs or diet plans or any of that crazy stuff. We do not support that. We have a very strong code of ethics at ACE, the American Council on Exercise. Very strong code of ethics. For us, the objective is to bring more health, health. For you guys, I get paid $35 an hour for this, as a personal trainer, up to $50 an hour as a health coach. They pay me up to $75 an hour to go speak to corporations and entities that, they want to have their employees be healthier. So for me, I like to do this, and I'm doing this no charge because I know most of you guys out there, millennials, are a lot younger than me. Right? I've got 4 kids, 20 to 28. Right? I expect every one of them to live to 100 plus, without wearing diapers, without drooling on themselves, healthy, happy. Right? And the only way we're going to do that is if we get this freaking diabetes and obesity epidemics. If we don't get these under control, that's what's going to be required. Because right now we're in an epidemic crisis. Let me see, Harry. I start the day with a slice of bread, butter, fried egg, bacon, 2 sausages, baked beans, and tomatoes. In the evening, I will have chili or a roast. I'm assuming that was roast. 4 coffees, 3 teas, and 4 pints of strong beer. Well, interesting to say the least. Mind you, a bit high in the saturated fat. I would be curious to know what your BMI is, your body mass index is. For me, that tells me more than anything, more than your weight, more than anything, as to whether or not you're in a healthy range for your weight and your height. If you don't know what your BMI is, just go Google body mass index or BMI calculator. Right? You can go to the CDC.gov website, the Centers for Disease Control.gov website. Just go look at your height and your weight, follow it to the number in the middle, and that will tell you what your BMI is, your body mass index. That, as a personal trainer and health coach, that is what tells me how healthy you are. Right? If your BMI is between 18.5 and 25, you're healthy. You're in the healthy range. 18.5 to 25, then you're in the healthy range. 25 to 30, you're overweight. 30 to 35, you are obese. Over 35, and remember my BMI used to be 38, you're very obese. 40 and above, we don't even want to talk about it, because then we're talking about mortality issues. 6 feet and 16 and a half stone. Well, if you can look up your BMI is 35. Well, Harry, I hate to break this to you, buddy, but you are right on the line for very obese. Obese is between 30 and 35. 35 and above, 35 to 40 is very obese. My BMI was 38, so I understand. But that doesn't mean anything. That just simply means that you have a starting point. That's all that means. Right? So your BMI is now 35. Right? Healthy range for BMI is between 18.5 and 25. So you have a goal. Obviously, you have a goal. You need to sit down and figure out, one, where the calories are coming from. And you already know, if you keep a food diary, keep a log of the foods that you're eating. And let me give you guys the food log. And then I've got to get rolling. I've got to go get my mileage done. The food diary is what you probably want to keep. And if you want to do this for 1 week and then follow up with me, we'll figure out where the calories are coming from and figure out little ways that we could perhaps start to get you on a weight loss path. Because that's what you need, is to move yourself towards a negative energy balance. I'm about a 30-32 right now, depending upon the pants. But yeah, about 32 right now. So the food diary is what I have everybody start with. And I've got people that started it this week. People that started it last week, I've got 2 people right now. Both were pre-diabetic or need to lose weight. One lady has a target goal of 70 pounds. that she's got to lose. We're starting her with 20. I start everybody at about 10%. So if your weight, and I'm guessing at 16 stone, you're probably put you about 225, 250 pounds. I'm not sure how the stone converts to pounds, but what you want to shoot for is to take off about 10% initially. That's the goal right off the bat. Because at a BMI of 35, I'm pretty darn certain that if you're not diabetic, you're probably pre-diabetic. Do you know what your A1C number is? Have you had your blood test done to find out what your A1C number is yet? Because that is the other important number besides the BMI that tells me where you're at coming in. And are you a cigarette smoker by any chance? I smoked cigarettes for 31 years, so believe me, I did not do myself any favors either. Okay, well, I would highly recommend, and don't apologize to me if you don't know your A1C number, because that's a number that's more important to you than it is to me. I know what my A1C number is, let's put it that way. And getting that blood test done and finding out what your A1C number is, that could save your life. I'm not kidding. Because if you are having any kind of neuropathy, retinopathy, anything where your pancreas is beginning to die, my pancreas is only 50% active. Right? I will take 2 medications the rest of my life. At least I no longer have to take a shot in the stomach. I had to do a shot in the stomach for about a year. Right? You do not want to get yourself to the point where your pancreas is irreversible, where the damage to your pancreas is irreversible. If you're pre-diabetic, which means you're right on the line for having full-blown type 2 diabetes, if you're pre-diabetic, the bad news is if you don't do anything, you'll become a full-blown diabetic, just like me. You know, it will happen. There is no choice in the matter. The good news is if you do something, if you start taking the steps, and the sooner the better, even just taking off 10% of what your current weight is, bringing that BMI down from 35, get it down under 30, right? Figuring out how to get your health back in order now could save your life if you're pre-diabetic. It could literally stop you from going there. But if you don't do anything about it, if you just cross your fingers and hope for the best, and you just keep going the way you're going, then yeah, you can pretty much expect, just like if you don't maintain your car, it's not going to function properly. It's going to break down. You're going to get flats. Belts are going to break. The engine may blow up. Same thing with your physical body, your human body, the vehicle that you use to transport yourself using 2 feet instead of 4 tires. It's the same thing. If you don't maintain it properly, if you don't do the proper vehicle maintenance on this, if you let it get so out of condition that you can't rely on it if you go to take it up on the freeway, right? Let's put it this way, if a big mean dog comes to chase you, no, actually, Harry, what happened to me was early 2005. Right? I'm still in computer training. I was in information technology for 25 years. But early 2005, I started having these weird symptoms. I was constantly thirsty. Constantly. I could not get enough to drink. And it didn't matter what I drank. You know, I mean, at the time I was still drinking, you know, all the sugared stuff. Sugared sodas and iced tea and, you know, juices. Love juices, still do. But I was drinking constantly. Nothing would quench my thirst. It was the weirdest thing. And of course, when you're constantly thirsty, you're constantly going to the bathroom. And then my eyes started going wonky. My vision started going weird. My contacts that I was wearing at the time and the glasses, the prescriptions didn't seem to be right. So I started doing some research. Even in 2005, you could still do good internet research. And I figured that I must be a diabetic, right? Because those were the symptoms I was having. So I went in, I had my blood test done. May 2005, my doctor diagnosed me with type 2 diabetes. Now remember, that was when I was 252 pounds and still smoking. So I'm sitting there in my doctor's office, May 2005, right? And he says, well, you need to make some changes. You need to figure out how to manage your diabetes. right? Otherwise, start picking toes and fingers that you don't like because they're going to cut them off. Right? That's what happens. Diabetes mellitus creates neuropathy where the nerves begin to die in your extremities first. Your toes, your fingers, it'll get in and cause retinopathy. It'll make you go blind. It'll make your pancreas, the cells in your pancreas will begin to die off. It'll literally go on strike and go, I ain't doing this anymore. So slowly, over time, and this is the insidious part about diabetes, is it doesn't happen suddenly like a heart attack or a stroke. Being overweight, obese, that'll lead to those as well. Right now, coronary arterial disease is still the leading cause of death in America. The leading cause of death in America. That all comes from being overweight, obese, and sedentary, not being active. But diabetes, that's what started me on this whole path. Oh, hey, Razor. What's going on, Luis? That's what started me on this whole path, was being diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic. Right? I was 252 pounds, smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Doctor says, you're a type 2 diabetic. You better make some changes. Otherwise, you're going to be in bigger trouble than you are now. So I had to figure out, how to take off 110 pounds, get rid of the cigarettes, and, figure out how to get my health back in order. So I had my last cigarette July 15th, 2005. That was the last cigarette I ever had. And you bet I remember the last cigarette I had, because you do something for 31 years and suddenly stop, you're going to remember it. But that was 13 years ago come this summer. No cigarette since. The weight came off slowly over time. I finally got to my current weight, and I've been at weight for just about 4 or 5 years now. Right? I didn't even start training to become a personal trainer until 3 years ago, because I wanted to get the health coach certification. I wanted to be an ACE certified health coach, because that's what I do. I help people lose weight, quit smoking, manage their diabetes, get their back pain under control. I'm a senior fitness specialist as well. So I'll do all of the evaluations and tests, etc., etc., etc. I can do all the things a personal trainer does as far as getting you into shape and building up your muscle. But as a health coach, that was the biggie. To me, the personal trainer was prerequisite. I had to get that first. For me, the health coach is what I wanted, because as an ACE certified health coach, my specialties are exactly what I've already done. Been there, done that. That gives me a major advantage over anybody else in this industry, because I understand what it feels like to be 252 pounds. I understand what it feels like to still be a cigarette smoker after 3 decades. I know what it feels like to suddenly be hit with type 2 diabetes and go, what the heck am I going to do now? Because that moment hits you. I mean, walking out of his office that day, I can remember one, I wanted to get out of there because they keep you in there so freaking long. I was dying for a smoke at that point, right? Especially after the stress of just getting hit with, type 2 diabetes, and I basically was fat and happy until then. You don't have symptoms for being fat, for being obese. You don't get a sore throat or runny nose or a fever. There are no symptoms to being heavy. And it doesn't happen overnight. So that's why I try to point out that, yeah, you need to lose weight, but don't expect a short-term solution, a quick fix. You don't get fat overnight. You're not going to get skinny again overnight. It takes time. But it can be done. Yeah, actually, my website is personaltrainingwithbrad.com, www.personaltrainingwithbrad.com. The Facebook page is actually for the book. I've had the Facebook page for a few years now. We've got about 7,000 fans on there. Just look up on Facebook, Pushing Double Nickels. It's just click on the Facebook link right there in the upper right corner. There on YouNow. And that'll take you right to the Facebook page. So anyhow, you guys, I'm going to give you the food diary, and then I need to get going because I got to go get some miles done before I get together with my dad out here visiting in Dallas. So here's what we're doing with the food diary. And anybody that wants to write this information down, just get a pen and a piece of paper and keep this for 1 full week, right? Keep this log for 1 full week, and then I will sit down with you on Skype, email, whatever, and we'll go over this and figure out a logical way to get you on a negative energy balance. A logical way to bring the portion sizes down a bit, slowly over time replace really high fat saturated cholesterol foods with healthier ones that you like. It's not going to happen overnight. I know you're not going to run out and suddenly buy rice cakes and salad and tofu and fruit. Let's be realistic. I still eat everything that I ate when I was fat. I still do. Just now my portion sizes are a lot smaller. And I don't eat fast food as often. Right? Maintaining a better balance, maintaining a better control, right, is going to really help out. But first and foremost, we got to figure out where the calories are coming from. So get your pen and paper. Hey, Hamza, how's it going? Get your pen and paper ready and write this information down, because this is what you need to keep on a daily basis. This is what I need you to do to track, right, where your calories are coming from, so we can figure out how we can slowly take off a pound a week, a pound every other week. A pound a week is still 52 pounds in a year, right? A pound every other week, a pound every 2 weeks, that's still 26 pounds in a year. So the weight doesn't have to come off fast, but it has to come off. Okay? Starting it slowly and keeping it off long term, making slow lifestyle changes, that's what's going to make the difference. So first and foremost, we're going to keep this food log, this food diary. Get your pen and paper and write this down. Hey, Felix, what's going on? All right, I'm getting ready to finish off, but first I'm going to give you the food diary, the food log and activity log that we're keeping for people that want to look into starting to lose weight, taking off a few pounds. Okay, we've had some success stories started from last week's food diary. We've already got 2 people that are beginning to lose some weight now. Both are going to get off the pre-diabetes list. That's their goal. We're shooting for 10% weight loss with those guys. So write down this information on the food log, the food diary, and then we will talk about it. Nope. Sorry, Harry. A juice fast for 2 weeks. If you're doing cleansing for a couple of days, something like that is fine. All right? I haven't fasting for 24 hours occasionally is fine. But in general, when you want to be healthy, right? When you want to lose weight, especially, you've got to look at long term, right? Not short term things, not fasts or solutions or this or that. I mean, doing a juice diet for a couple of weeks, that's just a fad, a short term thing. What I'm looking for is something that you're going to be able to do for the next 50, 60, 70 years. Something that you're going to incorporate into your lifestyle. Small, slow changes over time. For instance, instead of hitting McDonald's every day of the week, maybe hitting it once a week. Instead of having fast food all the time, just having it less. Or if you're having a double cheeseburger, get a single cheeseburger. If you're getting big fries, get a small fries. I'm talking about small changes over time. Nothing drastic, not joining the gym, not buying any diet programs or meal replacements. What we're looking for is to figure out where all the calories are coming from now. Are you gaining weight, a pound a week, a pound every other week? We can figure it out, right? And how to turn that gaining weight into losing weight. And sometimes it's very small tweaks. Sometimes it's little things that we can do that will make that difference, right? Sometimes it's more drastic. It'll all come down to what we figure out together in the food diary, the food log. So here it is. Write this down, because this is what I need in your food and activity log. And you'll just keep this for 7 days, right? And today is what, Saturday? So if you start today or you start tomorrow, just keep it for 1 full week. So here's what I want you to write down, and this is what you need to document, and you need this more for you than for me. But together, this will help us figure out if you're gaining weight or if you're losing weight, if you're staying at the same weight, and if you are gaining weight, approximately how much you're gaining. Are you gaining a pound a week, a pound every other week, a pound a month? Remember, a pound a month is still 12 pounds in a year. A pound a week is 52 pounds in a year. You know, gaining or losing, it doesn't matter. The math is still the math. Hey, Daniela, how's it going? So here's what you need to write down for the food diary, the food log. I want to know what you eat, all right, and be specific. For instance, if you go to McDonald's and you get a double quarter pounder with cheese, you write down, I had a McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese. Now, every fast food restaurant, every restaurant, on the menu, on the wall, every single item listed has the number of calories on it. It's easy to find out. You can Google pretty much anything and find out the calories. There are apps that you can use that'll tell you the number of calories and things that you're eating. It's very easy to track the calories. So once you write down what you ate, McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese, I already know a McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese has 513 calories. I know, it's my favorite. Right? So I will know every time I eat a double quarter pounder with cheese. Have you seen the film on YouTube, Fat, Sick, and Almost Dead by Joe Cross? No, I haven't. But anything that brings attention, the obesity attention to people's, brings it to people's attention, I fully support. If it's a positive video that lets people know that they can make changes and they can lose weight and get healthy, then I support it. If it's just a negative, scary video, then I may not support it. I'd have to see it. For me, I've been there, done that, so I really don't need to see videos on it. I lived it. When you're 252 pounds and a BMI of 38, and you work your way down to 142 pounds and a BMI of 21, 22, it doesn't go away overnight. It's not something that you suddenly forget. For me, and you can look at the wall there on my thing. Go ahead and look at the picture on my wall. For me, I will always partially be that big person. I will always, inside, part of me will always be that 252-pound guy, because I know darn well that I can easily get back to that. How? By eating more than I burned off, by simply turning a negative energy balance back into a positive energy balance, by sitting around on my butt all the time and not watching my portion sizes. I could very easily put 110 pounds back on. It's not going to happen, but I could. Genetically, it runs in my family. I mean, gaining weight on both sides of my family. My uncle was one of the 500-plus pound people. He was humongous at one point. My uncle, right? On my mom's side, we've had big people as well. Being heavy genetically runs in my family. So for me to get up to 252 pounds was not all that difficult. Let's see, Harry. He juices 4 stone by juicing phasing. Yeah, see, he juices all veg and veggie, very well known in the world. Oh, well, there have been juice programs and different diet programs, and they come and they go. And seriously, I mean, you will find all kinds of different programs and methodologies out there. I mean, people will say fasting to lose weight, juicing to lose weight. You got the high carb diets, you got the high protein diets, you got the meal replacement plans. Everybody and their brother seems to have some way for you to lose weight. And half the time it comes down to them hawking some kind of product or service or program. Join Weight Watchers, buy our meal replacement programs, do the South Beach diet. I mean, it all comes down to them hawking one thing or another. As an ACE certified professional, and all ACE certified professionals, personal trainers, health coaches, we don't promote any product. We do not promote any program. The only thing that we promote is ourselves and better health. Right? I will promote myself as a personal trainer. You can go to my website and hire me anytime you want. Personal Training with Brad. $35 an hour, and I'm worth every penny. This year, I'm helping people quit smoking free. Now, anybody out there who still does the cigarettes, no problem. I'll get you to quit, or we'll work with you to quit. Right? 90-day program. I'll get the monkey off your back. Hey, if I can quit a 31-year cigarette habit on the first try, and I've helped many people do it since, I can help you too. But back to the food diary, because I need to finish this and I've got to get out the door and go do my miles. You're certainly not going to listen to me as a personal trainer and health coach if I certainly don't look the part. Now, I have to be able to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Again, 110 pounds ago, right, I had to figure out what I was going to do that was going to be permanent, something I could do for the rest of my life. And that's what I'm trying to figure out with you guys now. So starting with this food diary, this food log and activity log, I want you to write down everything that you eat for 1 week, everything that goes in your face beverage-wise, anything that crosses your lips for 1 week. And I want you to just get a blank piece of paper for each day, and what I want you to write down is what you ate and be specific. If you know the calories, write down right next to it. I ate a double cheeseburger, double quarter pounder with cheese from McDonald's, 513 calories. Be specific. Put on there exactly what you ate, and if you know the calories at that time, do it. If not, once we get together and go over your food diary, we'll figure out the calories for each thing. Hey, Super Kiss y'all. Glad to see you could make it. Exactly. Everything that goes in your face. Everything. I don't care if you stop at Starbucks for a latte, if you hit the vending machine in the office for some pretzels, anything that you eat, anything that you drink, anything that crosses your lips that might be a calorie, I want you to write it down. Now, this is for 1 full week, okay? So, there's 5 items. Every time something goes in your face, there's 5 things I want you to write down. I want you to write down what went in your face. All right, what was it that what'd you stick in your face? All right, for instance, the double quarter pounder with cheese from McDonald's, 513 calories. Got it. So I want to know what you ate. I want to know what time you ate it. Really, you know, if you had that double quarter pounder with cheese at 10:30 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon, I want to know what time you ate or drank whatever you drank. I want to know where you had it. Did you eat in a restaurant? Did you eat at home? Did you eat in the office? Did you eat in your car? You'd be surprised at some of the strange places people eat food. I had one electric worker who was eating his lunch at the top of his cherry picker on a telephone pole. Hey, strange places people eat food, I'm telling you now. Thanks, Super Kissy. Appreciate it. Love you guys. So what we're writing down on this food diary, because we want to track our calories and figure out a nice, realistic, slow way to lose some weight, to take off some pounds, to become a little bit more balanced, you know, to get your BMI where you want it to be. So you're writing down, hey, Blaze. Well, hang tight, Blaze. I'm doing a food diary. What can I help you with, though? Archer or bike push-ups? Oh, yeah, I do that. Hit me up on my personal training website, personaltrainingwithbrad.com. Send me over a message. Again, personaltrainingwithbrad.com. And just send me a message. In fact, if you fan me up here on YouNow, I'll give you an hour for free. But let me finish this food diary because I want everybody to write this down because these are the items that I need to go over with you and figure out how we can get you to start losing some weight, okay? So we're writing down what we eat and be specific, you know, double quarter pounder with cheese from McDonald's, this many calories, okay? What time you ate or drank, whatever it was, went in your face, where you had that food, meal, beverage. You know, if you go through Starbucks and get a latte and you drink it in the car, just Starbucks, latte, large latte, you know, and we'll figure out the calories if you don't know at the time. So where you had that. Who? Did you have a meal with somebody or did you eat whatever you ate or drank whatever you drank by yourself? And then finally, why? Were you hungry? Were you thirsty? What was your motivation for putting calories in your face? Why? And to me, this is becoming more and more important because a lot of the reasons I'm finding people are eating or consuming, especially additional calories, especially high saturated fat calories, high cholesterol calories, and high sugar calories, a lot of it has to do with emotional eating. We all understand the term comfort food. I have my comfort foods. But when comfort food becomes more of a motivation than hunger, then yes, you can run into gaining weight, positive energy balance very easily. So again, for one whole week, I want you to write down everything that's going in your face. Everything. Okay? And be specific. Right? Did you make a tuna sandwich at home? Did you go out and eat in a restaurant? Did you have something at Mickey D's or Carl's Jr.'s? You got a bucket of chicken. You ordered pizza. Be specific on what you had. Then I want to know what time you had what you had. I want to know where you consumed what went in your face. I want to know who, if there was anybody else with you when you had your meal or beverage or snack. And finally, why? I was hungry. Good enough. Right? Had a really bad day. Grabbed a pint of ice cream and downed it. Ben and Jerry's, Cherry Garcia, whatever. Right? Why is very important. And then once we have everything that went into your body that day, at the bottom of that day, I want you to write down any activities that you did. Even if you're not on a formal exercise program, most of you probably aren't. Anything that you did that got you off your butt that might have burned some calories that I can possibly give you for credit. I went and walked the dog. We went shopping at the mall. I went and played tennis. Anything that you did that was an activity that was other than sitting on your butt. Okay? So we're writing down everything we're eating for the whole day, everything we're drinking, all the snacks, everything that crosses our lips, what we're consuming, what time, where, with who, and why. Those 5 things, right? Every single day. And at the end of the day, anything that we did that would be considered an activity that got us off our butts. All right? So with that, I can look at that and we can add up those calories. And I can look at those calories and based on what your caloric requirements are, and that's based on your current BMI, your current height, weight, right? And we can figure out if you're putting more calories in and you're gaining weight or you're not putting enough calories in and you're losing weight. We can figure out that balance. Over 1 week, we can be very accurate with that. Now, this is if you're being realistic with me. Don't suddenly turn into a health food nut because you're starting to keep this food diary. Hang on, Harry, I'm getting to that. For those of you that are keeping the food diary, just send me a note at pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com, pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com, or just message me on my Facebook page for Pushing Double Nickels. I answer that probably the fastest. 7,000 people, so I try to stay on top of that because they have questions, and I don't want to leave anything behind. You'll see I've got a 100% response rate on my Facebook page. And that Facebook page has been up since I put the book out, going on 3-4 years ago now. So I try and stay on top of these things. So yeah, just reach out to me, Harry. Let me know you're doing the diary. Once you have that whole week, right, we can do a Skype session. Right? That's where most of my clients are now. We'll do a Skype session and we'll go over the diary. We'll figure out all the calories, figure out if you're at a positive energy balance or negative energy balance. And just like I did with the folks that did the diary last week, I've got 2 people right now who are on the path to take off 10%. That's what I've got them shooting for initially, is to take off 10% to start. That should get both of them off their pre-diabetes list. So what we're eating. Everything that goes in our face for a week. What time we're having it. I want to know when you had that meal. Where, if you had it at home, in the car, in the office, I want to know where you had that food or beverage or snack. Who, did you eat it with anybody or did you eat it by yourself? I want to know if you had a family meal. I want to know if all your meals all week are on your own. I want to know. And then lastly, why? Why did you put that in your face? Why did you eat that food? Why did you drink that beverage? Why did you eat that candy bar or those potato chips? Right? What reason? Because we're not all eating for hunger. Hang on, make sure I'm asking you a question. Harry, I have to ask what pushing double nickels means. I'm here from UK. We don't have nickels here. My mom's from London. You know, God save the Queen. My parents met in Trafalgar Square, and I, I know London very well. Pushing double nickels was simply an amusing term that I decided to name my book because at the time that I wrote the book, I was getting ready to turn 55. I was 53, 54 years old at the time. And 55, you know, to me, pushing double nickels, 50, I found it rather amusing. And since I didn't have the thought to write the book before I turned 50, I couldn't use pushing double quarters. Right? It didn't really make sense. So pushing double nickels, I just found a interesting way of saying that, hey, I'm getting ready to turn 55, and here's 50 things I've learned in 50 years. Because I really don't count the first 5. You know, I mean, you're learning to walk and not drool on yourself and getting out of diapers kind of thing. So, yeah, pushing double nickels was the title, and 50 things I've learned in 50 years was the subtitle. Uh, so that's hence the title of Pushing Double Nickels. And thought it was kind of cute myself. I guess it would be an American reference if you're not used to seeing nickels. But I appreciate your asking, Harry. Anyhow, I have to get myself going, you guys. It's getting late in my day. I have to go get some exercise done, go do some mileage, and then go visit with my dad. I'm out here visiting my dad out here in Plano. So I'm glad you guys were able to spend some time with me this morning. If you haven't fanned me up yet, please go ahead and do so. That way when I am back online, and probably be Monday because I am traveling tomorrow, but we'll see. If I have some time when I get back to SoCal tomorrow after I get my exercise done, because my most important client is me. Has to be. You know, how can I lead you in a healthy path if I can't do it myself, right? If I can't walk the walk, I sure can't talk the talk. Oh, 6 days a week, I do 4 miles at about 4 miles an hour. I'm a power walker. I use curved shoes. Let me show you these. I got many different kinds at home, but I always use shoes that have some kind of curvature on the bottom, so that I don't have the heel strike. It gives me a whole lot more, shall I say, stretch as opposed to strike. So when I'm walking with these shoes, I do it about 4 miles an hour, and I go about 4 miles. I take about an hour 6 times a week. I'm power walking, I guess you could say about 24, 25 miles a week. That's for my cardio. My resting heart rate is right around 58 beats a minute. The average resting heart rate is 60 to 100. There is no normal, but an average resting heart rate can be anywhere from 60 to 100 beats a minute. The lower your resting heart rate, the more efficiently normally your heart is pumping, and the more efficiently your cardiopulmonary system is working. When you're carrying extra weight, normally your resting heart rate is going to be higher, simply because your heart is not healthy at that point. Your heart will become deconditioned. But it doesn't matter how old you are. I don't care if you're 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 years old. You know, the body is malleable. The human body is malleable. This is simply your vehicle that you're the driver in. You're in charge. You're the one who gets to decide what happens with it. You want to lose weight? That's up to you. You want to get rid of the cigarettes? If you smoke, that's up to you. Right? What you do is irrelevant as long as you do something. Right? I don't care if you're 150 pounds over. I was 110 pounds over. Right? You can make the changes slowly and over time. Ignore the diet plans. Ignore the short-term fixes. Ignore everybody on television going, lose weight fast. No, you want to lose weight slow and permanently, long term. So keep the food diary, you guys. Keep this food log for 1 week and the activity diary. You must write down what activities you do. If you don't do any, then obviously you're not going to write them down. Right? That tells me just as much as any activities you write down. Right? That just means we don't get to subtract any calories from the ones that went into your body that day. But again, be realistic with me. Don't go out and have a salad on a Tuesday if you've never had a salad on a Tuesday before. Don't suddenly become healthy just to try to make your food log look good. to me, if you're trying to fool me, then you're trying to fool yourself. And we've got to be realistic about this. I need to know, did you get a whole Domino's pizza and eat the whole thing? Did you get a whole bucket of fried chicken and down it? I need to know. If you can't be honest with me, then there's absolutely no way that I can help you. So, like I said, keep your food log and your activity log for one whole week. You want to follow up with me and do a Skype session on it and talk about it, send me a message. pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com is my email. Reach out to me at personaltrainingwithbrad.com, my website, or just click on the Facebook link right there on the YouNow page here, and send me a message on my Pushing Double Nickels Facebook page. That I respond to probably the fastest, that and my website. Anyhow, you guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. My give back this year is to spend as much time on this platform and help as many people as I can start to get themselves back into balance. I mean, it really is a simple solution if you just start working the numbers. I mean, being realistic and logical about it. Thanks, Harry. Appreciate it. So fan me up, you guys. I will try to be back on tomorrow, depending upon how crazy my flight is back into SoCal and how nuts it is getting back home. If not, I will definitely be back on Monday. So fan me up in the meantime. Reach out to me on any of my social links anytime you want. I will answer, I guarantee you. In the meantime, just keep this in mind. Every single night, 90,000 people will go to sleep and not wake up the next morning. Every single night. Now, those are statistics within the United States. Worldwide, I'm sure that number is bigger. But out of 324 million Americans, every single night, 90,000 of us will go to sleep and not wake up the next morning. I only mention this because every morning when your eyes open up and you realize, hey, I'm awake, you better be happy about it. You better be in the glass is half full mode at that point, because you literally just beat 90,000 other people. You literally came out ahead of 90,000 people just because your eyes opened up. From that moment on, everything should be positive. Everything should be gravy. Everything beyond that is an opportunity for you to have an awesome day, to make changes, positive changes for yourself, your family, your friends, your community, the planet. Just think, 90,000 people are not going to wake up, but you did. So, as far as I'm concerned, every morning that my eyes open up, that's a given. That's a positive. That's a plus. Because 90,000 people will not wake up tomorrow morning. They'll go to sleep tonight, but they won't wake up tomorrow morning. And if you're one of those people whose eyes do open tomorrow morning, I want you to be happy about it. Because that means you're still in the game. That means you can still play. Right? So to me, that's a positive. That's an absolute positive. We cannot get away from death. Death is a natural occurring thing. It will continue, even when we've gotten to the point where we've expanded lifespans to a couple hundred years. And that's not far off. We'll be able to be 30 years old for a couple hundred years easily, if not forever. I mean, we're within 50 years of getting there. In the meantime, we've got to start getting ourselves under control health-wise. The obesity epidemic is not getting any better in America. The diabetes epidemic is not getting any better in America. We are being way too sedentary. We sit around way too much. So, keep this food diary, keep this food log. If you're one of those folks who wants to lose some weight, keep that food log, keep that food diary. If you want me to mail it to you, or if you want to reach out to me and I'll send it to you again, just send me a message on Facebook or any of my social links, and I'll send it to you again. In the meantime, remember, you woke up today. I put you ahead of 90,000 people automatically. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, guess what? You beat another 190,000 people. Just the fact that your eyes opened up, right? And you're breathing, your heart is still kicking. That means that you can make positive changes. You can make it an awesome day. So I'm going to go do that. I've got to go do 4 miles and get my, hey Travis, hey Max, you guys hit me just when I'm getting ready to head out. I got to go get my mileage done, you guys, because if I don't walk the walk, I certainly can't talk the talk.
But fan me up, and as soon as you guys get this food diary done in a week, let's talk about it and see who we can help this week, getting on track for losing weight like we did with the folks last week. And we'll do this every week this year. So anyhow, I'll see you guys soon. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll definitely see you on Monday. And make it a good one in the meantime. Do me a favor, get up and move, even if you just go take a walk. Thanks, you guys. See you soon.